Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, and welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. And right now, this is your official post-game Week 5 edition of the State of the Saints podcast. The New Orleans Saints get the W once again. The New Orleans Saints get the victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 31-24. This was a good game right here. This was a coming out party of sorts for one. Teddy Bridgewater had 4 touchdowns in this game. I mean, just straight up balled out, 314 yards. I mean, he just did it all, man. You know, he did an outstanding job. Let me see, he was 26 of 34. I mean, that's pretty good. I think he had a quarterback rating of like 117. So Teddy Bridgewater definitely handled up on his business, man. So I think right now, as of today, we have to say that Teddy Bridgewater has answered the call, including the one that I asked him to do. You know, last week I was really critical of Teddy Bridgewater. This week he got me eating crow, and I'm glad to eat crow. You know, like he did an outstanding job today. I mean, honestly, this game, Teddy Bridgewater has earned the respect of the Who Dat Nation. I mean, throughout the whole entire game, the fans in the stands were chanting Teddy, Teddy. So the thing about it is, you know, like he changed the minds of a lot of people, you know, and including myself. You know, I mean, I was one of those people who, for, you know, ever since he got here, I said he was Drew Brees' successor. And then last week, what I saw from the Dallas Cowboys, you know, I backtracked on that. But what he did today, man, you know, I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed. Let's go ahead and talk about this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were who a lot of us in the Who Dat Nation thought they were. They were one of those guys. I mean, they were one of those teams who wasn't ready. You know, like they got the big victory over the Rams, and you know the Buccaneers faithful was beating on their chest, and you know, and hollering and screaming and all that kind of stuff. You know, talking about how they're gonna come into the Superdome and beat the Saints, and they're gonna shut the Saints down. You know, I mean, this is yet again another team who start to believe their own press clippings. I mean, we seen it last week with the Dallas Cowboys, you know, the arrogance because they were riding high. They won a few games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was the same way. They beat the team that was in a Super Bowl, so all of a sudden they felt like they turned the corner. And they thought that they had enough confidence to go on some of these Saints pages and talk noise to some of these Saints fans as if, you know, they had the juice or whatever, you know. And I knew it. You know, I knew for a fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not, I repeat, did not have the juice at all. You know, they just, I feel like the Rams just kind of overlooked them because they felt like they weren't ready, you know, and they wouldn't be up to the type of competition that the Rams can bring to them, and the Rams got hitting them out. That's all it was, man. You know, they caught the Rams sleeping. I guarantee it probably wouldn't happen again if they played the Rams, but they did exactly what they needed to do. I mean, they represented home. The defense did an outstanding job today. I mean, they put pressure on Jameis Winston. I think they had like back-to-back sacks towards the end of the game. That offensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could not hold the Saints D-line. I mean, it was laughable the way these guys were getting pressure on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, the pressure they was getting on the Jameis Winston. I mean, he was just so frustrated. It was just ridiculous, man. I mean, who didn't have a sack out there? It was like an Oprah giveaway or something. You know, you get a sack. I mean, you get a sack. That's what it looked like. You know, it's like a Oprah giveaway because everybody was getting sacks out there. I seen Carl Granderson out there, the guy from Wyoming. You know, I talked about on a couple podcasts. You know, it's good to see him out there producing. I mean, we seen Marcus Davenport out there. I mean, he had 2 sacks in the game. You know, he had that sack. Fumble, you know, and when a quarterback fumbles the football, you force a fumble, that kind of counts as a sack. So, I mean, he had 2 sacks in this game. I mean, Cam Jordan, he got in on the action. You know, Carl Granderson got in on the action. Malcolm Brown, Sheldon Rankins. I'm like, man, And then not to mention, like the secondary. I mean, bruh, I knew a lot of people was out there, talking about Marshawn Lattimore, my boy Trayshawn, I know he on here somewhere. He said that Cooper was injured last week. I just want to know what his excuse gonna be this week, because this man been out there balling. I mean, 3 targets for Mike Evans and no catches. I mean, straight goose egg. He completely shut down Mike Evans. I mean, and you can be honest, man. Like Eli Apple, that man been out there balling. Like today, he could have possibly had a pick if it wasn't for a holding penalty that called the play back. Marcus Williams had an interception, but that play ended up getting called back due to a delay of game penalty. So the Saints was out there balling, man. That defense was like, I was really impressed by it. I really was, man. They did what they needed to do. Those were the bright spots. Them generating that pass rush, them getting pressure on the quarterbacks, and they did that. Good run support. I mean, man, Demario Davis, and run support is just outstanding. I mean, I knew y'all seen that tackle right before the half. I mean, when he just shot the gap, man, and just tackled the guy before he even got the ball. New Orleans Saints, they playing on some other level type stuff right now. Like that defense is looking like really, really good. And I said this before, if Drew Brees comes back and the defense is playing like this, man, ain't nobody going to beat the Saints. So ain't nobody going to beat them, man, straight up. Yeah, I am still saying that Drew Brees go, start when he gets back. I see some memes and stuff like that on some fair weather type stuff. People up there talking about some Drew who. Like, nah, bro, this is still Drew Brees' team. Teddy Bridgewater is just doing a good job, holding down the fort until Drew Brees gets back. But, I mean, shouts out to the Saints. Shouts out to Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, just doing an outstanding job all around. Tampa Bay Buccaneers all over the world, All I have to say is, like I told the Dallas Cowboy fans last week, sit down, be humble, okay? Be humble. That's all I got to say, man. You can't be out here, shouting from the rooftop, talking about my team cold, my team going to beat y'all ain't ready, and throwing stats up and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, man, I told the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, I told them this. I said, look here. I said, your team is not that good. I told them this. They did not believe me. They just thought I was hating. I told them that number one against the run thing was smoke and mirrors. It was because most of the time Tampa Bay jumps out on teams and teams are playing catch up, so they throwing the ball more than they running it. So if the team's throwing the ball more than they running it, of course that they running game is going to suffer because they are not running the ball anymore. So even though, you're not stopping anybody. It's not like they handing a ball off and Via Veda and Ndamukong Suh getting pressure up front, and stopping a run like that. It's just the fact that teams aren't running the football. So the numbers are going to show. And, just because teams are trying to throw to get back in a game, your numbers going to look like you the best. But, I understood that was smoke and mirrors. They were not ready. This was a young football team. And you had some Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans crying, about the penalties, about the muff punt and, the clear, person that possessed, got possession of the ball, and they up there talking about the ref cheating and stuff like that. And all of a sudden Teddy Bridgewater throws a pick and they got a touchdown out of that. So the football guys kind of handled that. What else can you possibly say? Besides the fact that the Saints just went out there and just beat these boys to sleep. That's just what it is, man. I said it on the podcast I'm also a part of, the NFC South versus the NFL. My homeboy DJ Hopkins, who's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I told him, I said, this game ain't even going to be close. And it wasn't close. I know they scored a touchdown in garbage time, but the score does not show the dominance that the New Orleans Saints had. And in my opinion, if Drew Brees is probably in this game, Drew Brees probably would have about 6 touchdowns in this game, to be honest with you, because Tampa Bay was just not ready. They weren't ready. That helmet to helmet, I think that was on Harris. that was justified. I seen some Tampa Bay fans getting upset about that, talking about they got screwed. It was clear helmet to helmet. I mean, he deliberately laid his helmet in, and it seemed like he ain't having like no type of remorse about it. He up there waving at the crowd like he Miss America or something like that. Man, that ain't cool, man. I understand that Jared Cook didn't get hurt, but man, anytime that you're leading with the crown of your helmet and trying to knock a dude head off, man, you're putting that guy's life in jeopardy. So he deserved to go to the back. And I wouldn't just be saying this even if it's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers player. If it was a Saints player and they did something like this, I still would say that they need to go to the back, because there ain't no room for this, man. That's what the NFL is trying to clean up. And I said this on the last podcast, and I'm about to take credit. I talked about Taysom Hill. I said, and I asked a question. I said, why don't the Saints actually throw the ball down the field with Taysom Hill? I just don't understand it. And then all of a sudden, we got some passing plays, and teams weren't ready for it. Like, anytime they see Taysom Hill in a game, they think that he about to run an RPO. I mean, they think he's going to run an RPO, and Alvin Kamara, get a ball to Alvin, or he probably going to take it and run it himself. But they were completely caught off guard with that. This guy just throwing the ball down the field, and that was a good pass to Michael Thomas. I mean, he put it right on the numbers right there. So the New Orleans Saints got a lot of they got a lot of things they can be optimistic about, especially with the future of this team, man. I mean, Alvin Kamara, he had a pretty pedestrian game right here. I'm looking at the stats: 16 carries, 62 yards, and he caught 6 catches for 42. But we know, man, Alvin Kamara can be out there truly beast, and he didn't even have a touchdown in this game. So anytime that you can see other guys stepping up, we seen Jared Cook, he scored a touchdown. We seen Ted Ginn Jr., we seen him score a touchdown. Michael Thomas, come on, man. The dude, honestly, this dude is the Tampa Bay killer, okay? Anytime he play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this man step up. This dude had 11 catches for 182 yards, and he had 13 targets, man. So most of the time, anytime Teddy Bridgewater threw this dude the ball, he caught it, man. Bailed him out. Third downs, going deep. On dig routes. On quick slants. He was always there to make sure that he was the safety blanket for Teddy Bridgewater. So the New Orleans Saints, they moved to 4-1, and now it's on to Jacksonville, man, to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's my take on the game. We have a great topic that we need to discuss. Once again, it's about Teddy Bridgewater. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, over 300 yards. He tied his career high for touchdown passes in a game. And I want to get y'all opinion about Teddy Bridgewater. Did this game change your mind about Teddy Bridgewater? Did it change your mind about the way that you think about Teddy B? Or do you feel like you still got to see a little bit more? This kind of changed my mind about it, but I have to say I still got to see a little bit more. I still got to see another game in which he goes out here and he performs like this. I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers underestimated him. Looking at him for the last couple weeks, they probably figured the same way the Rams figured that Tampa couldn't hang with them. They probably thought that Teddy Bridgewater couldn't hang with them. So they probably underestimated him. They probably, said, okay, we got to focus more on Alvin Kamara and stopping him, and we can just count on Teddy Bridgewater beating us. And that's exactly what he did. Teddy Bridgewater beat us. So once again, I would like to hear what you got to say. Do you think that Teddy Bridgewater game changed your mind about him, or do you need to see a little bit more? Also, donations are in the description box. So if you want to make a donation to the State of the Saints podcast, all you got to do is go to the description box and click on the Streamlab link. And there are donations that are available that you all can, use. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and hear what everybody else has to say about this game. I got my friends and the guys that's on the podcast with me. One guy's a Carolina Panther fan, the other guy's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, so they kind of going back and forth right now. Teddy with 4 touchdowns. King Ebony, what's going on? Yeah, he did have 4 touchdowns in this game. The Saints, yeah, to the dub. Yep. Our secondary got better. Yeah, they are getting better, and they opportunistic, man. You seen like Marcus Williams catch an interception and Eli Apple. That was great coverage by Apple. I mean, that was probably some of the best coverage I seen him play since he was in a New Orleans Saints uniform. Let's see. Who that? We whooping ass. Took the dub. Yep. TJ, who that, baby? For real. Who that? What's good, TJ? Didn't I tell you Lattimore was going to lock Mike Evans down? Yeah, you definitely did, X-Men. Yeah, you definitely said that. Teddy Roosevelt. I like that right there. I like Teddy B though. my girl said Teddy Bridgewater name. He sounds like a old blues singer. Said he sounds like an old blues singer. Teddy Bridgewater. That dude sound like a blues singer though. But hey, man, shoot, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense singing the blues today. So Teddy touchdown. Who that? And honestly, I know that meant a lot to this guy today. Watching the New Orleans Saints fans chant his name in a Drew Brees, in a Drew Brees dome. You know what I'm saying? That's not the house that Drew Brees built, so to speak, because the Superdome was there years before Drew got there. But it is definitely the house that Drew Brees made relevant. So the fact that Drew Brees was in attendance, still on the team, and the crowd were chanting Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. I know that meant a lot to him, man. I know Drew Brees. I don't think he don't have like a jealousy bone in his body. I don't think he was jealous or anything like that. I think he was proud of this kid. You see him on the sidelines, like after every drive, you see Drew over there, talking to him, telling them different things, giving them advice. And that's why, we respect Drew Brees so much. That's why we got so much love for Drew Brees, because that's the type of guy he is, man. A straight stand-up guy. Love Drew Brees to death, man. True team player. Do you take back your statement when you said Teddy Bridgewater ain't the future? As of right now, I reserve my judgment. I'm not gonna say that I take it back. But I do need to see this a little bit more. I'm not gonna say, oh man, I take back my statement. He do have me eating crow today. Okay. That's fine, but I'm not gonna say that I take back my statement, because I think he was y'all was seeing exactly what I was seeing. I should say y'all seen it. Y'all seen the way that he was playing. Y'all seen a pedestrian play. So I'm still reserving my judgment till the facts come out and everything is shown. But he got me eating crow today, but I don't take back what I said. I still feel like Drew Brees is the guy, that is going to be his job when he gets back. And I still think the Saints need to go out and try to get another quarterback. That's just my opinion. If he set the world on fire and over the next couple of games and stuff like that, he put up performances like this, maybe we can talk. But I just feel like, honestly, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wasn't ready for it. And I think they didn't respect him as a thrower of the football. What's happening, TJ? What's going on, Jerry? Sup, TJ? Giving a shout out to my Who Dat family from Italy. Army Strong. Hey, what's going on, man? Herman, thank you very much, man. All the way in Italy, man. What time is it out there? What time is it in Italy? Jerry, what's going on, Jerry? I just talked about you, TJ. I said you will pop up shortly, and here you are. Yeah, man. I try to go like live, like right after the press conferences of Sean Payton and the quarterback. I think I went live, see what they have to say about the game, just so I can kind of let you all know, because I don't know if everybody, see the press conferences or see what the players have to say about the game. So, yeah. Iceman T, damn, man. What a game, man. We look good on defense. Yeah, it took us a while, man, but it looked like the defense it has come up, to the level of the offense, and now the defense can actually, help the struggling offense. So I think this is something that we all been waiting for. And like I said, if Drew Brees comes back, And a defense playing like this, the Saints are going to be tough to beat. They are going to be tough to beat. Yep, Jared Teddy scored 4 touchdowns. The criticism ends today. Game ball goes to Teddy Bridgewater. I don't want to say, like, let's pump the brakes, all right? Like, let's not say the criticism is going away. I mean, this is just one game. You know, like I said, we got to see a little bit more of this. I'm not trying to throw shade on Teddy Bridgewater. Please don't think that I'm doing that. I'm just saying we got to see more. You know, like this one game is not going to, you know, define a whole entire career. You know, like this is not going to tell you what type of career on down the line that Teddy Bridgewater going to have. This was a really good performance by number 5. You know, so I mean, like I said, he just got us eating crow today. Well, he got me eating crow. I can't speak for everybody else, but you know, I'm happy for him. Like I'm really am. I'm truly happy for this kid. You know, a guy that a lot of people thought that would never play football again. They talked about he might have to get his leg amputated. And now look at him. Guy out there throwing 4 touchdowns and 314 yards. I mean, I know that man, after this game is over, he'd rather be in his car, when he's going to be at the house and everything, you know, everything settles down. He probably going to shed some tears. And he deserves them, man. Saints D dominates again. Yeah, Jerry, they dominate, man. Man, it was, like I said, that last, I think the drive before last for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, it was laughable how much pressure the Saints defense was getting. It was like back to back to back, like sacks. It's like everybody it was like a sack giveaway or something like that. It's like everybody, you know what I'm saying, was getting a sack. Even guys that you forgot was on the team. I seen Mario Edwards out there. I forgot Mario Edwards was still in the rotation. I thought he was hurt. You seen Carl Granderson out there. I mean, you seen Malcolm Brown. Sheldon Rankins got a sack. I mean, Marcus Davenport got a sack. Cam Jordan got a sack. I mean, it was like a giveaway out there. Hats off to Teddy. Absolutely, man. Hats off to him. Our front D line is the best in the NFL, hands down. Yeah, it looked like they got something special out there. I can tell you that. Bridgewater stepped up in a big way today, man. Yeah, he did. I think he changed the minds of a lot of people. Sound like in the Superdome, he definitely did. We have our future QB 3-0. They should have let us kept the interception by Apple. Well, Charles, I mean, if it wasn't a penalty call, which they didn't even mention a number. I don't even know who was holding. They didn't even mention who it was. Everybody said it was Lattimore, but I'm not sure about that. But Eli Apple, I mean, he's been doing an outstanding job. I mean, even P.J. Williams, man. P.J. been doing a good job. Now, I know y'all seen that tackle that he made, man. That I think that was who was that? I think it was Barber. I think Barber, he was about to cut against the grain, probably pick up another couple yards, and P.J. came on a shoestring tackle, lift that boy up, you know, like, and saved him, man. He turned what could have possibly been a 12 or 13-yard gain into a 2-yard gain. So, I mean, PJ was out there balling today, man. Good tackler. They need to play like this every week. Yeah, I agree, man. They don't need to get consistent. They don't need to read their press clippings. They don't need to do anything like that. They need to just put their head down and continue to work. And if they continue to work, they're going to get better. I think we can beat Jacksonville next week. I think we can too. Jacksonville trash. I don't want to say that they trash. They got a good defense. Their offense is okay. Gardner Minshew, the guy out of Washington State, who's the NFL darling right now. He had 2 touchdowns in the game. Leonard Fournette, everybody know him if you from New Orleans area. Graduate of St. Augustine, St. Aug High School. Went to LSU. You know, he had over 100 yards. He excited about playing his hometown team, even though, you know, it's not in the Superdome, it's in Jacksonville. He's going to be excited about that. I mean, Jacksonville have some weapons, man, so the Saints better be ready for them. And not to mention that defense can get pressured. But I will say this. Well, I'm not going to talk about it. I'll leave that for later on in the week when I'm talking about predictions and stuff like that. But it should be an interesting game. If we play like this, we can beat anybody. Yeah, absolutely. If we continue to consistently play good on defense, and when Drew comes back, I mean, you're gonna really see something special. You really are. You're gonna see something special. I mean, if these guys can continue to play like this. I'm watching the itty Cowboys. I don't want to say the S word, but yeah, man, the Cowboys. I I stepped away. I think the last thing I seen was Jair Alexander had an interception on Dak Prescott because I think the ball slipped through Amari Cooper's hands. That's the last thing I saw. Brandon Reese 3-0 with a backup. Yep. Bears look horrible. Yeah, well, Chase Daniel is their quarterback, and I mean, if Trubisky was their quarterback, they would look a little less worse. I mean, they still would look worse offensively, but not as bad as they look right now with Chase Daniel. Sucks fans, I mean, Bucs fans are quiet. Yeah, they quiet, man. I seen a couple of them. I think it was last night. On the prediction show that we all had. I seen a couple of them, kind of sneaking up in here talking about what the Saints gonna do about this guy and what they gonna do about this, and Teddy B ain't gonna be able to score no touchdowns and blah blah blah. I don't see him, man. Like I don't like me. That's one of the main reasons. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one of the main reasons why I don't sit up here and talk greasy about football teams all the time. Like you'll hear me talk about like the Falcons and stuff like that, but I mean, that just come with the territory in NFC South. But I'll never just come out here and just be talking to people like, oh man, the Saints about to blow your squad out, blah, 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 blah. Like I just feel like this. Any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. No matter how trash the team is, you cannot like look at a schedule and be like, okay, this is a W, this is a W, this is a W, this is a L. You can't do it like that. Like you gotta put your head down and be like, okay, let them talk noise. I mean, Tampa Bay fans, I mean, they was just talking mad noise. And I told y'all, man, it didn't even feel right going at no Buccaneers fan because these guys have done absolutely nothing. That's all I was saying. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. You know what this kind of remind me of? Y'all ever see like, I know y'all probably seen this, but y'all ever seen like a person is trying to swing at one person and this other person had their hand out on their forehead and they trying to still swing and trying to connect the shot? That's kind of how it is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to me, man. Like, we're like the big, strong, big brother, and they're like the little brother is trying to get some shots in. And you just kind of pressing your hand against his forehead, pushing him back, and he giving it all he got, trying to swing at you. That's kind of what I see when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Saints. I mean, they just aren't there yet. Maybe like down the line, maybe Bruce Arians can kind of turn it around, make the organization better, and maybe we can have like a true rivalry like what we have with the Panthers and also with the Falcons. But Tampa Bay, I'm like, man, what's going on here? Like I don't get it. Like I think it's funny. I really do. I just think it's funny that Tampa really just going at Saints fans like this when they have done absolutely nothing. And the highlight that they had probably over the last 5 years has been beating the Los Angeles Rams, and they feel like that's justification to come at a Saints fan, which is sad. The Jags don't have any corners to cover Thomas next week or again. Well, is Jalen Ramsey playing? If Jalen Ramsey playing, that might be a problem. Best middle linebacker we had since Vilma. All I ask for is Teddy to win us 5 games. We have a shot to beat the Jags, Bears, and Cards bye week, and Brees should be ready. Yeah. I think that game against the Jaguars is going to be interesting. The one against the Bears is going to be really interesting. And the Cards is going to be interesting. I mean, I think the Saints are the standard. Like regardless to, Saints are the standard. And when teams see the Saints on their schedule, they try to see where they are as a team. So they give the Saints their best shot. In reality, they shut down Kamara only 3 yards per carry. Yeah, they kind of shut him down. It was very it was very un Kamara like, I should say, unkamara like. That's the word, unkamara like. It's very unkamara like this game. But I mean, that's what happens like when you are the star and the focal point of the team. Like when you're that guy, it's hard, for you to go out there and produce. Teams are zeroing in on Alvin Kamara because he can do so many things. You can tell like the way that he was being tackled today. Teams are trying to bottle him up. They're trying to make sure like he don't get through. He not slipping through. We all know that how tough he is to bring down. So I'm pretty sure he was a huge part of the game plan. I told you, I don't feel like Teddy Bridgewater was part of the game plan at all. They're like, okay, we're gonna play this type of coverage right here, and we're gonna focus on Kamara. That's how I feel. Teddy Bridgewater did a fantastic job today. Yeah, he did, man. Punt return, muffs a few punts, not trying to nitpick. Nah, I think this is something that we need to talk about. That's a good point, Metalhead, and I'm glad you brought it up because I probably would have forgot. And that's a sad thing because, we have a tendency, of when the team is winning, we don't focus on the imperfections and we don't focus on the things that can be hurtful down the line. I look at it when it comes to Dante Harris. I think about possible playoffs, divisional round, NFC championship game, game close. There's no room for error. And a punter punt this ball and this guy muffs. That's what I'm thinking about. Deontay Harris, horrible job today. Ball security, I mean, just straight questionable. Who am I to nitpick about injuries and stuff like that? I really just felt like I think his pride was more hurt than he actually was hurt on that fumble that was forced by the Buccaneers player. He has to do better. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world. You can have all the talent in the world, running back kicks or whatever like that, all you want to. But if you can't like secure the ball, like nobody gonna want to deal with you. I'll give you a prime example. Louisiana people, I know y'all know who this guy is. Trendon Holiday. Trendon Holiday was a player, an athlete. I like to call him a running back / receiver at LSU. Man had world-class speed, was a kick and punt returner in the NFL. Anytime he touched the ball, man, he had the he can go yard. He had the capability of going yard. But every time he secured the ball, he gets hit, he fumbles it. And that's what got him out the league. Like when he will make great plays, then he'll turn around and fumble the football. Deontay Harris, I mean, most punt and kick returns for a touchdown in NCAA history. I think he had 14 total in college at Assumption. But if you're going to be out here fumbling the football, if you're going to be out here muffing punts and you know what I'm saying, and coming out and people hitting you and you turning over the football, you're going to be on the sidelines. That's all there is to it. So he has to play better, man. That type of stuff, that could have cost him. That could have cost the Saints. And to be honest with you, it cost them some points. Because the possession, even though, the fumble wasn't called a fumble, the Saints still had an interception, and that put them in that position. So the way that I look at it, like, you got to make sure that you're securing the ball. So you need to focus on securing the ball first and then think about making moves. I think what he does is he be looking down the field, seeing if he has room to do it, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to make this move, that move. Now, secure the ball first and then make your decisions right then and there. But it'll be sad for a guy to have all this talent to be sitting on the sideline somewhere because he can't secure the football. And we all know that Sean Payton, that is his pet peeve right there. If you turn over the football, you will be on the sideline no matter how much talent you possess. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans are idiots and ain't even worth arguing with. The truth hurts. Look, I don't want to call them idiots, man. I don't want to call anybody idiots. And, I think they're passionate about their team. I understand that, but I feel like they're a little misguided Sometimes, if you don't be careful, you'll believe what the media and all that kind of stuff say. You'll believe, what you actually see, and you wouldn't realize that what you seeing is smoke and mirrors. And that's exactly what's going on with them. A lot of smoke, a lot of mirrors. Who that from Baton Rouge, man? I apologize for this long comment, but I gotta say, real quick, Jared Cook stepped up. The pass from Taysom Hill to Michael Thomas gave us a spark as well. Nah, Chosen. Don't ever apologize for your comments, man. I appreciate you for taking the time out to do so. Jared Cook did step up today. I just felt like I felt like Sean Payton really made it his duty to try to get Jared Cook the ball today. Because it seemed like in the first quarter, it's like every pass was going to Jared Cook. So I don't know what that was right there. I don't know if it was the fact that he wanted Teddy to have like chemistry with Jared Cook, or he just like got tired of hearing. Like, I don't care what they say. Like, we know these guys are human, and we know that these guys be on social media. They know about some of the stuff that fans like us be saying about them. And Sean Payton is no exception. Like, they can pretend and be like, oh, we don't pay attention. Yes, you do. I mean, that's y'all interaction with the world at large. So they know that people are talking about Jared Cook. They know he ain't been playing up to snuff. So I feel like Sean Payton just kind of took it upon himself, like, okay, we going to really, make him a part of the offense. Because a lot of the passes in the first quarter, like, it was going right to him. So, yeah, but he did a good job, though. He even got a touchdown in the game. So if he can keep that momentum going, I feel like the Saints really have something offensively. We love you, Drew and Teddy. And our awesome Saints. Yeah, we love Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees is a great guy. Like I said, there's not many quarterbacks that are going to be sitting on the sideline giving a guy that he knows the organization brought in to replace him one day the juice. And that's what he was doing on the sidelines. He had his hat kicked, to the back. He had the Microsoft Pro on the sidelines. He going over plays and pictures and stuff like that with Teddy. So that ought to tell you everything you need to know about Drew Brees. One hell of a team player. Drew Brees will always be the best Saint ever. Absolutely. That goes without saying. He the best New Orleans Saint player of all time. Hands down. Ain't even close. Hopefully Bridgewater can keep it up going forward. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can. But, I mean, like I said, it go from week to week. You play different defenses. Their defense designs, they scheme different ways. So he might have 4 touchdowns this week, might not have, maybe have 1 or 2 next week, maybe even none, because the Jacksonville Jaguars have a good defense. We gonna beat the Jags. He gotta prove us. He gotta prove us more. Yeah, he gotta prove himself, man. Like, one game not gonna make. I mean. I'm not trying to discredit this guy because I really think he has a bright future. But Lamar Jackson, what he had, about 6 touchdowns in week 1, against the Miami Dolphins. And then the next week, didn't look the same way. So, I mean, you can never tell. Teddy got his confidence back, it seems. Hope it continues. Yeah, I mean, it really did. And like I said, I felt like the chant in the Superdome chanting Teddy, helped his confidence as well, because I think he probably, now he feels like he's a part of the Who Dat Nation. So I think that means a lot to him, regardless to if he would admit that or not. These guys are human, man. They care about what people think about them. They care about some of the things that they say, So that's the way I look at it. You gotta. You aren't supposed to wear your emotions on your sleeve, but you are human at the end of the day. Regardless to, sometimes with us, y'all know how I go. We be like, I don't care what nobody think. But deep down inside, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do care about what other people think. So I'm just happy that he got his, man. All right. Trayshawn, Hugh, did the man I've been waiting for. I must say, Marshawn Lattimore played pretty well today. Him and Apple, he has quietly strung together a couple of real good games, weeks of shutdown corner type play. Thank you, Treshawn. See, that wasn't so hard, huh? I mean, I know, man. We don't know. We don't like the way Crow tastes. I know I don't, man. I mean, I was on here, like I said, last week talking about Teddy. He got me eating Crow this week. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, like, I know that we want to be right all the time. Like, we want to be right about the team and all that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, if you make an analysis and a player shows you or proves to you otherwise and proves to everybody else otherwise, I mean, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you're wrong. And there's nothing wrong with eating crow. So, I mean, it just comes with it, Definitely when you're analyzing a team, and you're doing it objectively. I mean, I can't upset you about the comments that you made. I mean, some of them were justified. I feel like they were a little harsh. But I mean, they were justified. He was not playing up to the caliber of player that he is, and but now it seems like he's confident, and I'm happy that he is. Teddy Two Gloves. Although the game people was asking, where is Mike Evans? Hey, Chris Myers. I don't know if people know this. I think he's from Louisiana or whatever. So he I'm glad it was good to hear like a non-biased commentator, like guys that were just calling it down the middle. I like him and Moose Johnson together. They're a good team. They do most of the Saints games in the afternoon and at 3:00. Haven't done many this year, but most of the time Chris Myers does do the Saints games. Man, I'm shocked. I can't lie. Defense held up nice. I think a lot of people shocked about the way the defense played. But Alvin Kamara warned us. That's what he said. He said they don't care about what all these fans or whatever have to say. He said, I'm gonna remember what people were saying, when we start winning and stuff like that. He said, I got a good memory. So he foreshadowed this for real. Let's see. Bridgewater would have looked better in other games if it wasn't for all the penalties. Yeah, probably. I mean, this was a good game right here, a good comeback game. The offensive line played great. I mean, you did not hear about Shaq Barrett at all, man. Man, Teron Armstead shut that boy down. That's what I'm talking about. Last week, Teron Armstead, worst offensive performance I ever seen out of him on the line. This week, shutting down a guy who had 9 sacks coming into this game. Didn't hear this boy name one time. I don't think he had a tackle in the game. And Ndamukong Suh did absolutely nothing. Vea did absolutely nothing. I mean, Levante David did absolutely nothing. Shut these guys down. That was really good, man. Still need to see more from Teddy. Yeah, I think we all do. Teddy Roosevelt. I like that one. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt. We just got to see it more. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to say they need to see more from Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, the jury's still out, even though he had a good game. What do you think about that defensive player being disqualified from the game? Who that? Andy, I think he deserved it. I said it at the beginning of this podcast. I said that there's no place for that. He led with the crown of his helmet, and it seemed like he wasn't very remorseful about it. And, he deserved to get disqualified. Honestly, I don't care if it was a Saints player doing some stuff like that. They need to get disqualified. I mean, these guys putting their lives on the line, man. I mean, one hit paralyzed a guy, So the way that I look at it, ain't no place for that. And, I mean, it's going to cost him a game check because I'm pretty sure it's about to cost him about $20,000. And I don't know if he one of those big-time contract players on that team. So he about to lose a game check. So if he's smiling right now, but when Tuesday come, he ain't gonna be smiling when he got the envelope in his desk. I guarantee you on that. Well, in his locker room, they be having them little letters from New York up in there. So he ain't gonna be happy then. Teddy is not consistent though. I don't know. I don't want to say he's not consistent. I think we just wanted to see more out of him as far as like getting the ball down the field, and he answered those questions today. Rush defense needs to step up. They did okay today. I understand y'all, you probably seen a couple plays, but I mean these guys probably had like 27 and 20, and 24 yards. It wasn't even that much. I think some of the plays that we seen was like getting yards in big chunks, but every now and then it was getting like 1 and 2 yards on a play. Herman says it's 11:05 p.m. Sunday. Man, wow. We finally got some tempo. Yep, we finally got it. Davenport seems to look more. Yeah, man, I need people to apologize to Marcus Davenport as well, man. You know, I need people to apologize to that man too. You know, people been talking about this man was a bust and all that kind of stuff. So I need the people that was talking about Davenport. They need to go ahead and pick up their bowl of crow as well, because this man been out here balling. You know what I'm saying? Getting hurries, getting pressure on the quarterback, and it seems like he getting better week after week. Man coverage has been a key, has allowed us to rush 4 men and get home with it. Yep. I mean, when you have a front that can get home with four, you know, you can play man coverage and stuff like that, you know. But I mean, it's only if your 4 can't get you know, pressure, then you have to get blitzes and all that kind of stuff, which is, you know, will set up man. But at the end of the day, it's like if they're getting home, you can do all kind of different things defensively. And the Saints can, you know, because they can get pressure on a quarterback with 4. I mean, this is some legendary stuff going on right here. I don't think I ever seen a front 4 of the Saints play as well as this front 4 is right now. I think Sean Payton just finally opened up the playbook today. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't know how to scheme for it. I mean, the Saints threw a lot of things at Tampa's defense. I mean, we seen Taysom Hill throw the football. We seen Alvin Kamara throw the football. We seen Alvin Kamara take a direct snap. You know, like, we seen all this stuff, man. Like, it's crazy. You know, so Sean Payton really opened up this playbook, man. And I guess, you know, this right here, to me, this is like coach of the year type stuff for Sean Payton right here. I mean, I think that if the season was over today, Sean Payton would be coach of the year. How can you not be coach of the year? Your legendary Hall of Fame quarterback goes down, the heart and soul of your team, and in comes a guy who barely even played in like 2 years. I mean, came back from a controversial, I mean, I won't say a controversial, but a very tragic, that's the word, tragic, a tragic injury, you know, and he comes back and he's your quarterback, and all of a sudden, the team gets 3 games won. I mean, right now, to be honest with you, you know, if he can spring together a couple more games, he can be like one of those comeback player of the years, even though he's not a starter. If he plays these 6 games and he plays really well, he probably will have done enough for him to be considered one of the comeback players of the year. So, yeah, Teddy served my crow with hot sauce. Yeah, he definitely served. He's definitely served my crow. I didn't even get the hot sauce. Falcons lost and Panthers won. What the F? Yeah, the Falcons are really bad. They're a terrible football team right now. No defense. Offense is really good. They put up like 30 plus points today, but they just can't stop nobody. They can't stop a nosebleed. Bucs are last in the secondary, though. Take that into play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the secondary trash. You know, they absolutely trash. I mean, I knew it. But like I said, I don't feel like they thought that Teddy Bridgewater can beat them, even with that trash, you know, that they put on the field. We have 2 big games coming up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got 2 big games, but I think they're going to be ready. The Saints have a tendency of really, you know, dialing in for these road games. You called the last podcast when you said unless Teddy throws for 400 and he comes out and goes over 304 touchdowns, but still has to show up more. But he completed his goal and going 3-3, and he did his part. Yeah, man. I mean, but look, you saying 3-3, but man, right now, you know, you can win more games than that. I mean, that was the goal, you know, winning 3 games. But now, I mean, you can win more than that. You know, by the time Drew Brees come back, they can be undefeated. They have that type of talent, you know. I think we need to stop looking at the New Orleans Saints like they the Cincinnati Bengals or something, you know, or I don't know, name a middle of the pack team, 49ers or something, as of right now. Um, the Saints are like an elite football team, and they got elite players on their team. So I think we need to stop just looking at it like all hope was lost when Drew Brees went down. Let's see. To hear his story is humbling. I appreciate him more because he has the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost with him on the field. Defense was incredible. The offense still needs some work. Yeah, I mean, I just respect the man because he was a tragic injury, man. I mean, that could have easily like took this man's career. So for him to bounce back, man, and be on the field, like that is a true testament to the hard work, the dedication, the drive that Teddy Bridgewater has. So I have a lot of respect for him, man. Like I said, man, like watching the fans like cheer for this guy, like it kind of got me a little emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when you like understand it, like a person kind of just goes through adversity, and you know it probably mean a lot to him. Like I said, he had a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure for a guy to have. Like coming in after a legend goes down, a Hall of Famer goes down. Yeah, that's tough. We should be able to handle the Jaguars next week. Let's not look past the Jaguars now. The Jaguars can be a serious threat. Teddy just doing what's asked of the game plan. Yeah, he is. He taking what the defense give him, and he taking advantage of it, and he's doing an outstanding job. A couple of those passes he threw today, man, there was dimes out there. Like that pass he threw to Michael Thomas, up the sidelines, and that was incredible. What up, TJ? Love your show. Thank you, Randy. I really do appreciate that. It's 14-0. Oh, okay. Oh, 14-0 Green Bay? Really? Dak has 2 interceptions. Okay. I want to hear the excuse Skip Bayless going to have this week on Undisputed. Last week he was talking about, Amari couldn't even get off. Right. He couldn't even get off the line. I mean, well, Mike Evans was 100% healthy. He can get off the line, so that tell you everything you need to know right there. He's managing. If Brees wouldn't have got hurt, I think we would be undefeated. Probably, yeah. I think we would have beat the Rams. I think we would have beat the Rams. I definitely agree with you on that one. See Jameis do that dirty shot to Jordan after the sack. Yeah, when he pushed his head down. Yeah, he pushed his head down on the ground. Yeah, I saw that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, that's just frustration. That's just frustration because the Saints was owning his offensive line all day, and he couldn't do nothing. And I don't think, what he had, like 84 yards passing. I don't even think, did he crack? Nah, he had 200 and some yards. But that was like, I mean, look, I count I don't count the last drive. All right, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless like the game is like tied or something like that. But when a team is like up by like 2 and 3 touchdowns, I don't even count the stats after that. Okay, that's just garbage right there. You know what I'm saying? It's hefty bag stats, trash. Okay, when I took a picture and I posted on a State of Saints podcast Facebook page. I think the Saints had over 300 yards passing, and Jameis Winston and Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 84. And that's all I know right there. Okay, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All them little garbage time passes he had down there when the Saints were playing prevent, I don't even count that. The Saints dominated this game from start to finish. What is your power ranking prediction? Who that from Tennessee? What's going on? Who that? My power ranking. I think that the Saints probably gonna move up to number 2. I think they probably gonna be number 2 on the power ranking this week. I think they were number 3, so I think they probably gonna be number 2 this week. Teddy doing a great job not turning the ball over. He's hitting his targets, but last 3 games his turnovers are due to the receivers. Yeah, I mean, I would say that the interception today was his fault because he threw the ball behind Alvin Kamara instead of in front of him. And Alvin had to reach back behind him in order for him to try to catch that pass. So, yeah, I mean, it was one of those passes he should have threw in the front of Alvin Kamara. Probably would have picked up a first down on that play, but it didn't. So I won't say it was Alvin Kamara's fault. I mean, you got to lead your receiver. You got to put the ball in front of him, not behind him. So there's no room for error on that. But I mean, that was just a good play by the corner. I mean, I know a few players wouldn't even caught that pass. I mean, that was good awareness by him, and I mean, good play. Teddy doing a great job. Oh yeah, I just read that. No, Ramsey is still out for the Jags, so Thomas will have another 100-yard game. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, does an outstanding job defensively, man. So, I mean, I know a lot of people know Doug Marrone is. I think he spent some time with the Saints. I don't know. I have to see this game. Gonna be a tough one, man. Like, make sure y'all check out the State of the Saints podcast prediction on that game that's been coming up later on this week. Cooks did okay, but he needs to do better. Yeah, he dropped a few passes like that play on third down. When you 6'5", like 250, 260, and you going up against a cornerback about 5'10", 180, soaking wet, you got to make sure you come down with that pass. And then Teddy Bridgewater threw it to him right in his hand. So, man, you got to get a little bit more physical than that. Okay, I like the yards after the catch, how tough he is after the catch, but you got to make sure that you secure the ball, man, and win your one-on-one matchups. Because that right there, he should have caught that. Love the fact that we are getting pressure with only four-man rush. Yeah, I think that's the bright spot right there. Once again, if you can get home with four guys, you can do all kind of things, and it don't leave your cornerbacks that's struggling on the island by themselves. The Saints have 3 winnable games coming up. Yeah, I think so. Kamara still put more rushing yards on Tampa than anyone else all year. He did okay against the best rush defense in the league. Pablo, they're just smoke and mirrors, my friend. I said that before. The only reason why they number one in rushing is because teams were throwing the ball, try to get back in the game, because Tampa Bay can jump on you. And most of the time, the last couple games that they played, they was up by a couple touchdowns, and teams had to throw the ball more than they ran it. I don't count the game with the Giants because what was missing from the Giants? A very big piece. Saquon Barkley went out in like the first quarter of that game. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went up for like 18. So Daniel Jones and the Giants were throwing the ball all over the place around that time. So, man, nobody was running the football. And in that Rams game, they jumped up to a 21-0 lead. So they weren't even running the football. And when they did run the football, I mean, Todd Gurley, basically dragged the rest of them boys into the end zone for like a 15-yard touchdown and another 20-yard touchdown. So I'm like, rush defense ain't doing that well. If special teams played like this last week, Dallas would have won. Yeah, luckily they didn't. Quiet the doubters. You play the ball security to the max. Yep. They definitely play good ball security. That 91-yard drive that the Saints had, I think it was like going into the second quarter. I mean, that was a thing of beauty right there. 91 yards. I think it was like 14 plays or something like that. No, it was 12 plays. It was 12 plays, 91 yards. I mean, just an outstanding job by the Saints. Sean Payton cut Marcus Murphy for muff punch. Yep. I don't think he's going to cut Dante Harris because Dante Harris has way more talent than Marcus Murphy has. I think he's going to be patient with him, but not that patient. We all know that Sean Payton does not like people turning the ball over. I agree on the Trenton Holiday analogy, one of the best returners and runners in football, but can't secure the ball. LSU great, but had butterfingers. Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, nobody was catching Trenton Holiday. I mean, he was about 5'7", 5'8". Man, fast, I don't know what, man, just lightning in a bottle. But, I mean, when you hit him, the ball getting popped out. And it's all about ball security. You cannot turn the football over if you're a football player. That is, man, that will get you cut in a minute, no matter how much talent you got. The world needs to stop counting on the Saints. Counting out the Saints. Excuse me. God is real. The world needs to stop counting out the Saints. Yeah. Man, let them count them out, man. Let them do it. Let them keep on talking about Tom Brady and Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. Let them talk, man. I don't care. Like, I don't care if the Saints fly under the radar. That just shows you right there. Ain't nobody see them coming. That's all it means. Like, sleep on them all day. Take Unisom all I care. But when the Saints play your team, play your squad, and play them national media teams, we'll see who the real team is at the end of the day. My apology to the Teddy Bridgewater. Keep pushing forward, my brother. Why can't we do super chats? I don't know. I thought you should be able to do super chats. Should be able to do super chats. If you can't do super chats, I'll figure it out. I'm kind of new to Streamlabs, so honestly, I mean, I've been doing tutorials on this, so it's kind of like trial and error right now. So it's I'll figure out why. I'll figure out why you can't do super chats probably on the next episode. Yeah, if we can't do it right now, I'll make sure that we can be able to do them next time. So I apologize once again. I mean, it's kind of trial and error here. I'm still learning Streamlabs. Cowboys getting shut down. I said this before. I said Aaron Rodgers is the Cowboy killer. He is what LeBron James is to Toronto. Toronto just could not get past LeBron James when LeBron James was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, no matter how cold a team was. Just couldn't get past him. Soon as LeBron James left, what happened with the Toronto Raptors? They won the NBA Finals. So, but Pablo, I don't know, man, about the Super Chats thing. But for those that don't know, I mean, donations are available. You can just click on the Streamlab link, and you want to donate to State of the Saints podcast, please do. Drew is patiently waiting. Yeah, and he got time to, man. That's the best thing about it. Drew can kind of take his time to get back, and they don't have to worry about rushing him back. He can be 100% going down the stretch. And honestly, man, this might be beneficial to Drew. I know a lot of people aren't paying attention to that, but Drew is 40 years old, man, and taking wear and tear on your body. So missing out on these 6 games, I mean, bruh. Like they give you an opportunity to rest up, be 100% while around week 6 when everybody else all banged up and all that kind of stuff. You can come back fresh as a daisy, be around this thing taking the league by storm. So I mean, that might be beneficial to him. We really need to get tight end Jared Cook involved in the offense, especially in the red zone. They did a good job today in the red zone with him. He did a good job. Teddy Bridgewater missed him on one of the plays on the goal line. That should have been a touchdown because he definitely got behind the corner. And the other pass where he threw on a quick slant, I mean, he scored a touchdown there. So, yeah, I think he did a good job. How about them Cowboys? Man, bruh. Like I said, man, Aaron Rodgers, he the Cowboy killer. Win, win, win. Yep, that's all they need, man. I don't care if it's by 20. I don't care if it's by 10. I don't care if it's by 1. Nobody remembers. All we remember is what? That dub, all right? So how do you feel about the man coverage? I think the man coverage has been great. Eli Apple has really stepped up. He's playing with empty pockets right now. So the Saints didn't sign him to his 5th-year option. So he's auditioning right now for other teams as well. So he's doing an outstanding job. Lattimore stepping up. He's answering the call. I think they're doing a good job, man. P.J. Williams doing good in the slot. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson doing good in the slot. They shut down O.J. Howard today, man. O.J. Howard only had like 1 catch. So they're doing a good job out there, man. We have a championship team waiting on our leader. Yeah. Man, Saints had a championship team for like 3 years now. Okay, I mean, we all know that the Saints have lost in the playoffs in tragic fashion 2 years straight. The Saints could have easily been in the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row. Cowboys are getting their ASS kicked at home. Wow, what's the score of that game? Is it still 14-0? What is it? Who that great win today? Cook finally showed up. I hate that the Saints defense let Tampa score at the end. Yeah, they got to clean that up right there. You can't let the ball get into the end zone I think that last catch by Godwin, I think that was a little lazy on the team. You got to get that guy down on the ground. You get that guy down on the ground, the game is over. They're not going to get back to the line of scrimmage in time for them to make a play. And even if they do, it's probably going to leave about 4 or 3 seconds on the clock. So you got to make sure that you make that tackle, man. You can't get all lax and stuff like that and think we got it made. We know, being Saints fans, anything can happen. And the game ain't over till all zeros on the clock. Mari says, sup TJ, what's going on, man? I appreciate you checking out the podcast. Teddy Bridgewater. Hey TJ, Raquel, what's going on? Kevin, what's going on? Raquel, who that for life? Glad to hear that. Not like some of these other fans I be seeing on these social media pages that be losing their mind anytime a Saints player make a mistake or be out of position. Everybody need to get cut. Him's be killing me, man. Teddy showed us way more this game than he has previous, and I think it's safe to say he's getting better and expect him to continue to improve. I think there's a combination of Teddy Bridgewater and Sean Payton, because Sean Payton, said in a press conference last week he had to look at himself and wonder, like, am I putting him in a position to succeed? So he probably took it upon himself to try to make sure that he actually put Teddy in a position to be successful, and it seemed like he done that today. So, man, like I said, Sean Payton right now is coach of the year, and I don't think nobody close to the job that he's doing right now. Cowboys getting shut down. Everybody talk about them Cowboys, man. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of like when the Cowboys be losing too, man, because they fan base just be talking. Once again, greasy, so greasy. Let me see. Take me back to my Sega Genesis day. Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. That was my all-time favorite play. The halfback pass. Man, you talk. Ooh. Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. Oh man, that was my game right there, man. I couldn't play it though. I didn't really care for it, but that was like one of the first games where you actually had commentary on it. I think it was Pat Summerall who was the commentator on that game, and I just remember it. And Joe Montana was like the quarterback on everybody's team. he was like the quarterback on everybody's team. Like Joe Montana was the quarterback no matter what team you picked on the game. He was the quarterback. And Pat Summerall, we all knew he had like the dry, boring voice. Joe Montana back to throw. He's looking, intercepted at the 25. Like it was one of them games, like, you were just so amazed at the time because, you never seen a game where, you had commentary on there, but it needed some work, man. I mean, I like the soundtrack of the game and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite soundtracks. Like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, man, we used to play that all day, every day, man. Shouts out to my Uncle Jerry, man. My Uncle Jerry, man, he had that Sega Genesis. My cousin, my big cousin Robert Thomas, man, always used to come with the backpack with the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis. We used to look forward to seeing him come to the house, and used to play video games all day. So shouts out to them. 17-0 Green Bay up. Yeah, man. Skip will blame the left guard being out. Yeah, typical salty Cowboy fans. Yeah, everybody got to be clicking on all cylinders. Everybody got to be there. It's never a next man up mentality. With none of these mainstream teams. They got to have all 22 of their starters out there. They got to make sure that they out there. If they not, then they playing from behind. Whatever. Jags gave up 176 to McCaffrey. I'm sure Kamara can do better. Probably because they gave up 176, they probably gonna be looking, to try to stop that. But probably not, because I don't think they respect their coach that much. I just found your page on Facebook. Well, Raquel, I appreciate that. For those that don't know, Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. I post different things about the Saints, articles, videos, of course, videos that I can't put on here due to copyright issues, but some of the Saints plays, just little facts about teams, things that the players do on Instagram. I had a very good interview that I found that was on a Josh Hart, who's a New Orleans Pelican player. He did a podcast, had Marcus Williams on there, and Marcus Williams finally opened up about the Minnesota Miracle. So that's on that page. So y'all check that out. Very interesting stuff, man. He chopped it up with Marcus Williams for about an hour. Now I didn't put the whole hour podcast on there, but I did put the clip on there with him addressing the Minnesota Miracle. And Marcus Williams has been playing outstanding this season. I mean, he could have easily had 2 interceptions in this game. One hit him clean in the face, and the other one got called back due to delay of game. So Marcus Williams, ranked number 2 among safeties right now. Pro Football Focus. He's number 2. And he deserves it, man. He's been playing out his mind this season. Skip always contradicting himself. Yeah, he always contradicts himself, but you have to respect, man. He's a master, man. He's a master of getting himself out of a situation. I don't know how he does it, but this guy is amazing. He backs himself into a corner, and then he comes back on Monday morning and gets himself out of it. I guess that's why he's been on television so long. I think Brees going down is what inspired our team to really step it up, especially the defense. I mean, you hate to see that Drew Brees went down, Johnny, but I definitely agree with you. When Drew Brees went down, it made a lot of guys do some soul searching and made them think about what type of player they want to be and what type of player they are. So these guys are stepping up. And, that's a bright spot for the team, because it's going to come a time, man, when teams are going to be shutting down the passing game, and they're going to have to rely on the defense, to come through. They're going to be shutting down the running game. They're going to have to count on the defense to come through. So, yeah. But check this out, TJ. The Saints are linked to going after Jalen Ramsey, reports. Say now, we get him, kick Lattimore to two corner. CJ Garner-Johnson, slot man, scary. That's probably why they straightened up. I doubt it, man. I doubt it though, Treshawn. I think that it has a lot to do with pride. Like, what type of player you want to be? I mean, do you want to just be a guy to get some checks, or do you want to be a player that's going to be great? And I think these players want to be great, man. I think that Lattimore wants to be considered one of the greats. And I don't even think it's just about him getting paid. I think he really cares about the product that he puts on the field, and it seems like he really does care. So I'm gonna just say it had a lot to do with pride. Looking at them stats, I mean, these guys post stats all the time, man, on Twitter. Like, you might see Michael Thomas posting stats on there. You see Lattimore posting stats on there. These guys are paying attention to that. So, if they're putting that positive stats up there, trust me, they looking at these negative stats, even though they're not posting them. So, he probably looking at the fact that, look at them yards that he gave up, being number 1 in the league. And that probably made him do some soul searching. And now he put on 2 straight back-to-back performances against 2 elite receivers in the National Football League. The truth hurts. I'm loving the fact that we are getting pressure on the quarterbacks with our front 4 and not having to blitz so much. Yeah, that's always a plus. Do you think Jared Cook will get more snaps as the season progresses? Yeah, I think he will. And I think it's no mistake why he got the majority of the targets in the first quarter. I think that Sean Payton really wants to utilize him. I just think that he's just trying to get him more comfortable with the offense. We're the ultimate underdogs. Yeah, it looks that way. It's funny to me, though, since we talking about the underdogs, it's funny how teams and fans have been laughing at the Saints about the referees and stuff like that. And they talk about how the Saints get screwed by the referees week after week, and they find it so funny. Now all of a sudden, the Saints kind of, righted the ship and calls done really made because the Saints are really playing clean. All of a sudden now it's like, oh man, the referees don't want to throw no flags on the Saints because y'all complain so much. Now y'all making the league look bad. Like, man, you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. So I mean, keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying. Drew will be back week 12. Yeah. This message is being held for review, man. Look, all the, look, I would suggest, that you all keep the profanity to a minimum. Like I said, I mean, I'm not gonna tell anybody, what to say on here, but just know that I try to keep it as clean because I want a podcast that everybody can listen to. I mean, I guess I look at it now. I got a son, and looking at him, when he get older and be able to look at things, I want him to be able to watch me, and so I'm not saying that I won't read your comments, but if you're dropping f bombs or s words, I try to beep it a little bit, try to tweak it, but just try to keep the, profanity to a minimum on here, because I mean, I do have like young kids and stuff like that. My 8-year-old, nephew and stuff like that be watching this. So, I try to keep it as respectful, as it possibly can. But I thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. Patrick Robinson needs to give some money back. Now, I mean, Patrick Robinson not stealing out there, man. Patrick Robinson been doing a really good job. You just haven't heard about him. I mean, he's been playing. He's been playing. He's been out there. He's just been doing a really good job. Now, I don't think he played that much this game because I think he was dealing with some kind of injury, but he's not stealing money. He was out there against the Cowboys. You didn't really hear that much about him. He was out there against the Seahawks. You ain't hear that much about him. Hey, I ain't got no problem with that. I mean, he doing his job. They should have not let the last touchdown keep the foot on the gas until the clock hits 0. I agree, player champion. I agree with you absolutely. Cowgirls are getting their butts handed to them right now. Let's trade Austin Carr, Ken Crawley, and a second round pick for Diggs. Man, who in the world, Jerry, is going to give up? Man, ain't nowhere in the world. Austin Carr, who I forgot was even playing until I seen number 80 flash across the screen after a commercial break. Ken Crawley, who can be found with street clothes on. And a second round pick, I mean, the second round pick I can get down with, but Crawley and Austin Carr, man, please. Austin Carr, man, you might as well give him your car. Give him your car a second round, and then maybe you can get Diggs. But right there, with Austin Carr and Ken Crawley, man, please. Man, you couldn't get a pack of gum for that. For real. So that'd be like, man, look, I'm going to keep my gum. You get to keep that right there. What do you think about Eli Apple? What's your assessment of him so far? I think he's doing an outstanding job. And I think he's answered his critics. I mean, he has improved, and being in this system for a second year, he's done a good job. And since that play on Fuller, Fuller got on him, I haven't heard anything about Eli Apple. I mean, he been shutting it down. I mean, have y'all seen Eli Apple give up any big plays since that Fuller play on Monday Night Football? I haven't. Not at all. So I don't know. I think he's doing an outstanding job, though. I think if we're gonna talk about a person, when they down, what I'm saying, I think that we need to praise them when they up. Perry Campbell, Tecmo Bo Jackson was the man. Just saying, yeah, man. Bo Jackson was the man. Walter Payton was the man. If you had any of those guys, you weren't catching them. Tecmo Super Bowl. If you had Barry Sanders, you weren't catching him. If you had the 49, you had Roger Craig, you weren't catching him. And that was the only game where you can just drop back all the way to the back of your end zone and throw a 100-yard bomb, and your wide receiver just sitting in the back of the end zone. Oh, man. But those were the days right there, man. You can't take those days back in them. I mean, you can't get those days back no more, but yeah, I used to play a game for hours. Timothy Washington. Yeah, Teddy had a great day, but it's not that he couldn't throw the ball deep. and they weren't letting him throw it deeper. But a matter of how defenses are playing us and Payton, Tampa would give those opportunities. Let me see. Teddy had a great day, but it's not that he couldn't throw it deeper. I mean, he threw the ball he threw a 35-yard pass down the field. I mean, Teddy was just taking what the defense gave him. I mean, that pass down the field to Michael Thomas for like 34 yards, and then that big deep pass down the field to Ted Ginn. I mean, they were wide open. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind that. You know, I know we want a person that can, fit a ball through a keyhole, but that's not Teddy Bridgewater. He takes what the defense give him. Man, and man, I used to know a Timothy Washington back in the day, man. I used to go to school with a guy, named Timothy Washington. I wasn't so, man, it just made me think about that guy. If that is that Timothy Washington from New Orleans, man, what's going on with you? You really think about the miracle the Saints would accept Stephon Diggs? Yep. What the miracle got to do with anything? He was just trying to make a play for his team. And I would hope if he's in that position again, he will make the play for the Saints. Shoot, I mean, look, this is a business at the end of the day, okay? I mean, this is a business, all right? So you don't think you think if Mark Ingram came down here with the Baltimore Ravens, you don't think he'll be trying to run for 200 yards on the Saints? There ain't nobody thinking about that. If Stephon Diggs come out here and catch passes and score a touchdown for the Saints, I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Bucs fans on Facebook crying about the refs today, but to tease Saints fans about that. Talk about hypocritical. Man, they only had one play that they can say was questionable. First off, that pass interference that they said that Michael Thomas had was offensive pass interference. No, it was not. Okay, I knew for a fact they weren't gonna call that play back. That fumble. Okay, I mean, yeah, they got screwed on that. But Teddy Bridgewater threw a pick right after that. So they got the ball back in the same position and they scored. So the football guys fixed that, right? The football guys fixed that. So what else can they complain about? What can they complain about? Okay, the Saints just dominated them. What the referees got to do with the Saints getting pressure on Jameis Winston? What did they have to do with anything? What about when Teddy Bridgewater ankle got rolled up on because the dude went at his legs? What about that? Okay, I mean, we can easily just go back and forth with that. One play, now all of a sudden it just dictated the game. Like, come on, man. And it's not like, it was in a fourth quarter and it was a game deciding, thing or whatever like that. It was like in the first quarter or the second quarter or something like that. So I'm like, man, come on, man. Like, y'all got that play right back. Y'all got it right back. So, come on, man. Like, they won't sit up there and cry now, but, what that old saying, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? I mean, you was laughing and talking about blew that and all that kind of stuff, but now all of a sudden you want to cry. You want everybody to hear what you got to say. Absolutely not. Let's see. We put them Bucs in the blend and balled them up and folded them. Hey, man. I see my mom and my nephew came on here. So shouts out to my mom, Carolyn, out there in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and my nephew, Kalen, man. I was just mentioning him. So thank y'all for checking out the podcast. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. We put them Bucs in the. Oh, I already read that. I don't think Teddy has thrown an interception that was actually his fault. Like I said today, Juan, I think that one he threw today was a little bit his fault. I think he threw the ball behind Alvin Kamara. And the defender was like right there behind him. So I think he needs to put that ball right in front of him. So this one I feel like was his fault. I truly believe in my heart that Drew Brees really loved this organization, TJ. Tell me, do you think Brees will team up with Payton to coach the Saints in the future? Me personally, probably not. Drew Brees is one of those guys who probably gonna always be, a figurehead in New Orleans, kind of like what Archie Manning is to the Saints, But I feel like Drew Brees is, after it's all said and done, he's gonna want to be a father. I can see him probably coaching his sons and stuff like that, trying to be at some of his sons' games if they decide to play sports in high school or in college. And I can see Drew Brees probably running for public office in Louisiana. He talked about that in the past, how he has an interest of possibly, getting into politics. So I think you're going to see Drew Brees, but you'll probably see him in a different position. I don't think he should run for public office in Louisiana because, man, we all know how, you can go from, man of the year to donkey of the day in a minute being a politician, so I don't think he needs to go that route, but I think he does have some ambition, and he has some, he wants to run for public office. So I wouldn't be surprised if one day you see Drew Brees trying to run for mayor of New Orleans or trying to run for some kind of councilman or something like that. I think that's probably the route he's going to do. But I think he's always going to have love for football. I think he's always going to be a part of this organization. I think that Drew Brees is always going to be around here somewhere. And I think, he's a Who Dat for life. I mean, he put this team on the map. He put this team on his shoulders and made them relevant. Let's see. Player champion is back. Your people from Vicksburg, Mississippi. I'm 15 minutes away from them, Tallulah, Louisiana. My mom has a house in Tallulah, Louisiana, and my grandparents stay in Tallulah, Louisiana. Player. Yeah. I've been to Tallulah quite a bit when I come down there to Mississippi, man, because Vicksburg ain't nothing but right over the Mississippi River Bridge. So I'm always around that way, man. So yeah, it's a small world, man. But thank you, player. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Let me see. Jerry said that's right. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we got it, man. But I want to say this. Good to have the Ring of Honor for the late Will Smith. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Jerry, for bringing that up. Yeah, they did put Will Smith in the Ring of Honor at halftime. We all know Will Smith meant to this organization. Will Smith was one of the leaders in sacks throughout his tenure with the New Orleans Saints. I think he played for maybe one more team. That was the New England Patriots. That was towards the twilight of his career. And of course, we know that he was tragically murdered. I think in the Garden District in New Orleans. But he did leave behind a legacy, and he was a person that had a lot to do with the development of Cam Jordan. And it was only right that Cam Jordan passed him for being one of the top New Orleans Saints sack leaders of all time. So Will Smith, he forever will be remembered. Number 91, the guy that when he make a sack, he'll kiss the bicep, and the guy that gave it his all. He came out of Ohio State with a name that was universal. Not because of him, but because the guy that was West Philadelphia born and raised. But he definitely left his mark in the city of New Orleans, and I think a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation will always remember Will Smith for bringing terror to anybody that came into the dome. So he deserved to be in the Ring of Honor. So congratulations to him. May he rest in peace. I seen his wife is out there. I know she was shot. That day, I think she was shot in the leg or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's good to know that she's around and she's doing fine. And shouts out to the Smith family and your dad's, your cousin, your nephew. His legacy is going to live on. No matter what. But I must say that I'm about to head up out of here. But my final thoughts of today is the New Orleans Saints did an outstanding job today. They played as a team for 3 consecutive weeks. This team right here is a very dangerous team. This is a brotherhood right here. This is not just a team. A team is just a couple guys get together. You'll reach the same goal. I mean, we know what that means. But this right here is a brotherhood. These guys actually care about each other. These guys actually love each other. I really feel that way. I don't feel like, they just putting on no facade. These guys play for each other. And when you have a team like that, It's special. And there's very few teams that can actually go out here and beat you. You know, like, and I feel like the New Orleans Saints, what they have to offer is something special. And when you look at the NFC Championship game last year, I know that's going to be in the back of their mind. And they're pushing to get back to where they were and get over that hump. So this team right here is very, very dangerous. When you can get pressure with your front four, when your secondary is playing out their mind, when your linebackers flying all over the field. Shouts out to Kiko Alonso. I seen him out there making plays. When you got a special running back like Alvin Kamara. When you got Latavius Murray out there playing pretty good. And Michael Thomas, who, you know, man, just changed the whole stigma of guys getting big contracts and not playing hard. Man, you got yourself something special. And now you got Teddy Bridgewater coming in. You have confidence in him. And you got your Hall of Fame quarterback that can comfortably sit on the sidelines and get himself back to health. And when he does come back, it's going to be dangerous. The Saints, man, they on a mission. They definitely on a mission. They are on a mission to get to the Super Bowl and to win it all. And but they're going to have to keep on winning, man. They got to keep winning. The Carolina Panthers seem like they didn't reach their stride. The Falcons look like they out. Tampa, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to bounce back. I mean, they're not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They seem like they got a lot of heart. It's going to take them some time in order for them to reach their stride. But this still is a race, you know, right now. And the Saints got to continue to win. They can't have any slip-ups. They got a one-game lead in the NFC South. So the only way that you sustain that lead is to keep winning. And hopefully the New Orleans Saints can do so. Later on in the week, I will be breaking down the New Orleans Saints traveling to Duval to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm looking forward to that, man. That's right there, man. You don't really hear about the Saints playing the Jaguars that much. So it's very interesting to talk about a team that I really don't focus that much on. I mean, I try to pay attention to all the teams in the National Football League, but I'm interested to learn a little bit more about the team to bring it to you. So that's going to be coming up later on in the week. Thank you very much for all of your love and your support of the State of the Saints podcast. I will be coming back this week with the prediction, with Saints Q&A, and a whole lot more. So keep it locked right here to the State of the Saints podcast. And also follow the State of the Saints podcast on Facebook, facebook.com. Search the State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?